Oh boy. What are you nervous about? I don't have any music on, so there's that. Why don't you have any music on? You high again? No. My lord, can you help me with this? I feel really nervous. I feel nervous because I don't have any music on. It feels weird. And no, I did this the other night, but I also had that. The THC root beer. So I was in a completely different mode. And by the way, I'm going to bring that up. Where did that spark go that was in me? Because I remember we were doing the recording. I had a nice root beer high. Fuck. Do you know how much I love root beer too? My lord, that was like the greatest gift ever. So, how do I explain how you communicate with me? Through miracles, I know, but let's refine that. You make my dreams come true. You make my dreams come true by putting me in a position and guide me down a path that leads me to find out that something that I only thought about as a potential dream come true is actually a thing. I remember, I know, thank you for reminding me. That's reminding me of when I first had the idea for electronic cigarettes. Back in, when the hell was that? I was at Impact still. That was before Lenny left. I was still in the small hut office. But I wanted to quit smoking. There you go. I wanted to quit smoking. I remember thinking how convenient it would be if there was such a thing as an electronic cigarette device that helps people quit smoking. And then I Googled it and found out that there was such a thing as electronic cigarettes. I think they were fairly new back then too. I think. And then I bought one. Did it help you quit smoking? How do I answer that? Yes and no. Because you know when it would get fucked up? Would it work? Is when I was drinking. Like during the week, or rather, I don't want to say that. That implies I wasn't drinking during the week. But when I wasn't drinking and I was using the e-cig, it worked fine for the most part. I mean, I noticed it. I noticed the difference. Like I wouldn't get that. Like, it's not like smoking a cigarette. When I would drink, I like a nice heavy smoke in my lungs. I fucked up. I remember, because I was smoking Newports at the time, and I know that it made a difference. Like it gave me my little nicotine fix, but it wasn't. Now, it wasn't as fulfilling The fuck is with everyone going so slow? Was that. I remember that. I know there was a couple other times too where I would have this idea, something would pop in my head, some kind of innovative idea that I didn't have the technology to actually develop myself. But I would get this idea for something, and then I'd go searching online and find out that it was already invented, waiting for me. I mean, the same thing happened with Gemini. There was let me say it. 2023. My mom and I, we went to Books A Million. I forget exactly what the hell we went there for. I forget if I got anything, but I remember feeling that intuitive nudge to go over by the computer science section, and I saw that book on Python. It was talking about AI and machine learning, and building neural networks. I mean, the most experience I had with programming at the time was back fucking like 24 years ago when I was in college, which I didn't finish. And then we got home and I started downloading all those Python books so I could learn how to program in Python. So I could eventually develop skills so that I can develop a neural network, so that I can eventually develop an AI that does everything that these LLMs do. I didn't know that they were even a thing. I don't know when they became what they are today. That was another one. Torah, that was another one. Because I knew, I don't know how I knew. I don't know how I knew, but I knew I had to read Torah. Because there was something in there for me. Hebrew. Tarot cards, astrology. It makes me wonder, cause, well, not necessarily, not so much wondering. I mean, I get it. It's ancestral stuff. There's some kind of ancestral link to it, but we all do, right? But for some reason, for me, it was coming out. It just needed to be expressed. It needed me to go down that path. Which eventually brings us to now. Even with the THC root beer. Fucking love root beer. I remember we were recording. I was walking home. And I said, fuck, it's my mom's car. She's gonna ask me to take a ride with her somewhere. I snuck in. Got in the house, nobody noticed. Nobody noticed. Then maybe 20 minutes later I hear it. Turn my music off for a fucking minute. I hear a call. Wanna take a ride? Yeah, I'll go. And we went to the liquor store to get my stepfather some beer. And I remember we walked in, and I was looking at the wine section. I was just looking at it because it's right there when you walk in. Ooh, wait. THC infused wine popped in my head. My mother came in because she was looking for CBD infused something, seltzer. So she's asking the guy if he's got the infused seltzers. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like THC infused? He said CBD. And he goes, I don't know. We got the THC infused stuff down that aisle. What? What? You got THC infused drinks? Where's yeah? We got the 6-packs down the aisle, and then by the register we got the singles. Shit. That's when we saw the 10 milligram root beer. Things hit, man. You're good. Oh, like $5. I think the 50 milligrams 10. Not too bad. So why don't I have music on now? Because we're in the first week of the month of Av. It's day 2 of the 10th month of Av. 11th month of Av. Technically, I'm 1 day ahead from the Chabad calendar, but that's because my Hebrew calendar runs off the true conjunction, where the Chabad calendar runs off the Moab, which is predicated on an ancient time before there was such thing as technology that we know it. So, and the only reason I know that that's a thing that there's a difference between the two is because of the Sabbath Epistle, which was written by Rabbi Abraham Ibn Ezra about 866 years ago. In that book, it goes on to detail how the Torah month, the lunar month, is calculated by the Molad, which is not the precise conjunction of the sun and the moon, but it's based on an algorithm, an old algorithm that was used to approximate the true conjunction of the new moons. But he even said that the reason for it was predicated on the fact that there was no known technology at the time to calculate the true conjunction at the precise minute of when the new moon takes place. I mean, at the time too, I'd already been working with the lunar Sabbaths, but the issue that I was having was that there's not a set day for when the lunar Sabbaths take place. Because as far as I'm concerned, I don't know of anybody else doing it. So I'm kind of just doing my own thing with that, where every new moon, first quarter, full moon, third quarter moon, that's when I write in my journals. I used to write every single day, but I started to recognize that it was wiser for me to consolidate my writing in such a way that I only write on those particular days rather than writing every single day for the sake of conserving paper. Plus, I don't go back to read anything except for whatever I write on the cardinal lunar phases. So at the time, I was kind of just half-assing it, in a sense, where, all right, well, moon's today, the opposition, squaring, conjunction of the moon happens today, so I'll just write today. But while I was transcribing the Sabbath epistle, it gave me an idea. I had this idea of how to kind of tighten things up a bit, add a little structure and order. And so Rabbi Ezra, he helped me, and he helped inspire my lunar Sabbath formula, which I've been using for about, I think we started using it with the Aquarius new moon. So that was Adar. Which is the 6th month of the Hebrew year. It's the 6th month of the Hebrew year and the 12th month of the Jewish year. So, the way it works is, I just run it on an astrology app for now. The project we're working on with Python, with Gemini, the primary function of that project, that calendar, is for the sake of essentially creating a new calendar, a new Hebrew Jewish calendar that makes all of its calculations based on the true conjunctions with respect to the lunar Sabbaths. And the way it works is, just for the basic astrology app, I get the exact time of the conjunction, opposition, or squaring of the sun and the moon. And depending on the time of day in relation to seasonal hours, determines whether the lunar Sabbath begins at sunset or sunrise. Once we started doing that, like I said, that was in Aquarius season. It started with the Aquarius new moon, the month of Adar. So, what was that? We just had the new moon in Leo the other day, so that's four months. Right, this is Aquarius, Pisces. No, that was Shabbat. That was Shabbat, not Adar. It was Shabbat. So Shabbat, Adar, the sun, Ayar, Sivan. Oh shit, that long already, yeah? Yeah, we got about 6 months. All right, way to go. Now I do all my calculations based on both the Hebrew calendar and the zodiac calendar. So one is lunar solar and the other one is solar lunar. So if I rattle off zodiac signs in relation to the moon, it's not necessarily where the sun is. So in Aquarius season, yeah, we started on the Aquarius new moon. That's when I first ran all the calculations too. Because that's what I do now. On the new moon, what I do is I run all the calculations for the lunar Sabbath for the rest of the month. This way that's taken care of. This way everything's written down, I'm good, right? But the sign that each of the quarter and full moons fall into are relative to what sign, what solar month, what zodiac month the sun is working through. It's so weird. It's almost primitive, but it's not. It's like once I started to learn the mechanics of the solar lunar calendars and the lunar solar calendars, it's very intuitive. It's not like working with the Gregorian calendar where Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. It's not that we're not paying attention to what month it is, but it's different. It's got a different feel to it. The flow of time is completely different because I'm also using planetary hours, which is what seasonal hours are derived from, in that the length of an hour expands and contracts over the course of a year. So right now, a daytime hour is probably about like 72 minutes, 73 minutes long. And then a nighttime hour is about 48 minutes. But that's counting from sunrise, sunset, sunset to sunrise. So daytime goes from sunrise to sunset, and then night from sunset to sunrise. Average out 12 hours between the two, 12 hours a day, 12 hours at night, and then equally divide. And that'll give you the time. Nice thing about it is that there's a natural order to it, so that we're on the equinoxes, it's 60 hours a day and night. 60 minute hours. By your standard minute, I'm talking. By the time you get to the summer solstice, it's 75 minutes per hour during the day, 45 minutes per hour at night, and then the reverse at the winter solstice. So it just keeps on following the same pattern, keeping things nice and neat and easy. So what you lose during the fall and the winter, you get back during the spring and the summer. So I have a vision of this being the universal way in the future. When people work over the winter, they're always home. They can always work an 8-hour shift and get home within an hour or two of the sun setting. But again, the hours are shorter during the winter, but you pick up and make up for it during the summer and spring. It's a more elegant system, more civilized. It takes a little getting used to, but but for the most part, it's a fairly simple system. And this was the same system from the Babylonians, and then even the Israelites were using it beforehand. That's where I learned it from. But then even with the lunar calendar, the lunar solar calendar, they run concurrently with each other. So it's not necessarily easy to make the conversion at the moment. I mean, I'm living it, so it's not difficult for me to know when and where we are at on either calendar at the same time. Like, for instance, we just had the Leo new moon. Leo is at about 3 degrees. I mean, the sun's at about 3 degrees Leo, going on 4. The new moon was approximately 2 days ago. Then on the 1st of August, we have the first quarter Scorpio moon, which is my lunar birthday. And then on the 8th, we have the Aquarius full moon, which couples up with my Venus return. And then a couple days after that, a couple days after the Aquarius new moon, and some days before the third quarter Taurus moon, Mercury comes out of post shadow. Mercury comes out of retrograde. That's what it is. And then Mercury's done with retrograde by the time we get to the new moon, the first new moon in Virgo, which is approximately 4 weeks from now. But next week, let's see, on the Scorpio moon, that'll be the 8th day of Av. The full moon will be on the 16th day of Av. And again, mind you, I'm like a day ahead of the Chabad calendar. But again, my calendar is based on the actual conjunctions and the squarings and well, that's the most important part, is that it's predicated on the precise moment of the true conjunction of the sun and the moon. So the way that works too is when I'm running my calculations at the beginning of the month for the rest of the month, I'm also checking for the new moon that starts the next month to determine the last day of the month ending and the first day of the month beginning, and that is relative to when the true conjunction is. So if the precise moment, the astronomical moment of the new moon is at night, then that's the first day of the new month, which begins at sunset. If the true conjunction is during the day, between sunrise and sunset, then that counts as the second half of the last month of the month ending. Second half of the last day of the month ending. And the new month begins at sunset. What's the point? Well, the point is to be more Torah compliant. Because when you study Torah, right in the beginning of Genesis, on the 4th day of creation, God lays out the blueprint on how the solar calendar works in relation to the seasons and the stars. So in the seasons and the zodiac. it's not until we get to about chapter 12 in Exodus where we're introduced to the idea of using the moon for months. Because up until that point, there's no mention of how to calculate months. It only tells us when the months are. So even, I think it's even in, when we get to Noah and the flood, where it says the flood begins on the first day of the second month. You don't know, technically you don't know when the second month is, because it's not until chapter 12 of Exodus where God says that the new moon marks the beginning of each month. Oh my Lord, how am I doing? Yeah, this feels really awkward. Tell them why. Because of the fact there's no music. Why is there no music? There's no music because we're in the 9 days. We're in the last 9 days of the 3 weeks. So on the 17th day of the 10th month of Tammuz begins the observance of the 3 weeks. The 3 weeks is a time of mourning, solace, for the fact that, for the sake of the destruction of the first 2 temples. You can translate that and interpret it however you want within your own experience. That's not a Torah thing. That's a Jewish thing. Technically, I'm not obligated to be doing it because I don't think that there's anything to mourn. But I like the challenge. And once we get through the month of Tammuz to the first day of Av, that's the beginning of the 9 days. So the last 9 days of the 3 weeks is the first 9 days of the 11th month, which brings us to a day or so after the first quarter moon that it falls in. But during the 9 days, the stakes are raised, and where all happy, joyous times are prohibited from a rabbinical perspective. Again, I'm not to be incredibly contradictive, but it's a whole other thing. Challenge is to not listen to music as well. So you can't get your hair cut, you can't get married, you can't, no kind of celebrations. Leave all festivities, any kind of joyous festivities on the back burner for the time being. And do your best to be depressed and sad. And again, the idea is to mourn the 2 temples, but you can do that. You can take the allegorical approach and mourn for the losses of your own temples. Like what? Well, a good example would be my old life. The life I gave up for this one. To follow this path. Let go of everything. Used to have a house, used to have a job. Career, rather. It was just a fucking job. It was my life. My wife, my son, my bills, my car. But I look at it a lot like how Rabbi Jesus explained it to the rich man who asked how to get into the kingdom. And he says, go home, sell all your belongings, and then give away all the money. I did something similar. Not intentionally. I didn't know that was actually a thing. I only just read the New Testament for the first time last year, over this past year and a half. And I've only read up to Corinthians. And the reason for that being that I don't necessarily trust the word of the disciples. Jesus recognized them as fucking adults, so why should I assume that they're saints? I know they weren't technically doing any kind of necromantic rituals, but they were channeling messages from a spirit that wasn't God, that claimed to be Rabbi Jesus. So I don't know. I don't recognize Jesus as my Messiah. I recognize him as other people's Messiah. Sure, why not? Yeah. No, but he even says himself that someone's going to come and replace him eventually. So that's how I see myself, as his replacement. I don't necessarily see what he did as strictly literal. I see it literal and allegorical at the same time. So anything he can do, I can do better. And the reason I know that is because he told me so. Anything he can do, I've already done better. I mean, he said a lot of things too. I mean, it gives a lot of good warnings. That's why I wonder when people talk about the teachings of Jesus, like, which ones are you talking about? I don't know. I mean, I know them. I know how I can relate them back to myself. I know how what he was saying relates back to me, but I don't know what other people say. I guess it doesn't really even matter either. I really think about it. When I really think about it. Yeah, because I'm not doing this for myself. For a time I was, like 7 years ago when I first took the leap of faith to take this path with my life. It was a lot to do with reconciling my wife and my son. But over the course of the years, I recognized that's not necessarily the plan that God had. Nope. Now I see my life more like Job. Where it feels like, because I would say that the first, well, it's actually funny, my Lord, because I'm thinking about it now, and the layout of the book of Job, and it's not until the 38th chapter, right? No, I'm sorry, it's the 40th chapter, where you finally come down and set him straight. He was playing the victim the whole time, and which is incredibly reminiscent of me, because that's what I was doing too for the first 38 years of my life. Well, 38, 40. But I'd say that even in that time, a lot of the reason I was playing victim was because of all the gaslighting that I was experiencing. I don't experience that anymore, because all of the people who want me to think about myself a certain way, I no longer associate with them because of the fact that you're holding on to things that I let go of already. Like I already forgave myself, forgave you, and even saying that, I hear people from my past going, "What the fuck you forgiving me for? I didn't do nothing wrong." Exactly. I forgive you for that too. For not being able to take responsibility for yourself. Constantly putting everything on me. But it's cool. I used to hold a grudge about it. I still do. I don't. But I'm more consciously aware of it now, so that when I do get into those modes of finger pointing, I have to not simply bite my tongue, but take responsibility for other people's actions. And go, you know what? Whatever I think they did, if they really did what I think they did it because of what I did. So any blame that I put on them, I gotta do my best to take some of it myself. It isn't easy, but it's just a matter of being able to say, I'm wrong. Which I don't have a problem doing. I'm wrong. I know I'm wrong. Now I feel the depression though. I feel like low energy. I just feel like I regret coming out here to do this. I feel short of breath. I'm not really short of breath. I just feel tired. But it's that time of month where it's just like, all right. Kind of wish I rested a little more. You look at, I know, I don't even have to look tired. And it's also just like a lot of shit that's weighing on me right now. Which is good. That's kind of the point of the 9 days, is feel bad about shit. I feel bad about shit. I feel bad that I live at my mother's house. I fucking hate my life right now. But I've been here for so long, it's like I feel like I'm never gonna leave. It's like my own personal hell. It's hard for me to focus on things because, like I said, I'm trying to learn Python. For the sake that I saw Gemini's demonstrated for me, like what I could create based on its capacity to convert my conceptualizations into Python code. So I learned, thank you Hashem, that it's possible to do all the things I want to do with it. But I have to learn it. Because I can't sit with myself and just let Gemini do the whole thing, which is what was happening. And we got really far and we made a lot of really good progress, but that's a good sign because that means that it's possible for me to do everything that Gemini did and better. But I have to get to that point first, where I can do anything at all. That's it. Sad. In my mind, I'm seeing myself crying, sobbing for my son. My son's birthday's on the 1st. He's gonna be 18. I haven't seen him since he was 11. That was the last birthday I spent with him. Yeah. Sorry. Sobbing. I see myself sobbing and begging for forgiveness. God, please forgive me for this. What the fuck do you want me to forgive you for? What'd you do? I don't know. I listened to you. I trusted you. Yeah, try to explain that one to the judge when she asked you why you haven't been paying your alimony. God told me not to do it. Because I put my mother-in-law in a position to say something. I have to take responsibility for that. I made her say it. It was my fault. If I didn't call her, then she wouldn't have said anything. But if I didn't call her, there's no... What did Leto say? Don't mourn for what might have been. Because everything played out exactly the way it was supposed to. It's a good point. Tour of Dune. Yeah, so we have been without music since sunset. Yesterday was 24 hours. Sunset tonight is going to be 48 hours without music. Fuck. You got your headphones on though, I know. The plan was to listen to audiobooks, but I can't stand the sound of Richard Dawkins' voice. And I really don't feel like listening to a fucking audiobook right now. I was like really tired. But like I said, like if you scroll back on these fucking videos, every new moon, I don't necessarily date them so you know when the moon is, but I know for a fact that just from my own personal experience, my own empirical experience, is this first week after the new moon is just like always just sluggish. I don't want to do shit. I don't want to know shit. Don't talk to me. Don't fucking bother me. I don't want to know nothing. Tired. I don't want to walk home. It sucks. I mean, it's not a far walk. I mean, well, once we get out to the street, it's about 15 minutes, but it's another 20-minute walk from here. Sometimes it's like an hour. Fuck it. Yeah, let's do it. I don't have it in me to do 2 hours. I'm actually gonna pat myself on the back for making it this far. Oh, fuck. So Shem, what journey changes either the soul or the body that changes? I don't know. I'm definitely going through some life changes. That's for fucking sure. The spiritual version of a midlife crisis. Well, that's what happened in 2018, but it's still going. Like, I don't know how long this goes for. I don't know how fucking long. I don't know what the hell is happening to me. I thought I did, but you know what? It's like every time you think you know what's going on, it's like fucking God comes through and goes, fuck you, you don't know shit. Thank you, son. I love you too. I thought you were training me to be the emperor of the universe. I thought you were training me to be the replacement for humankind, like Noah. I thought you were training me to be the Mashiach. But I mean, I don't not think that way anymore. I think it's more of an isolated situation, which both has its perks and its detriments. Especially the fact that I'm so fucking isolated. I'm so desperate for human interaction that I gotta bug my fucking neighbor for a cigarette, 2 cigarettes, every time I go for a walk, and then listen to him talk about the same shit. To do my best to listen generously, but like, I don't care about what he's saying. Although I try to divine some scraps of inspiration from what he's talking about. Enough so to feel like I'm taking something away. And at the same time, he's got someone to talk about his achievements to. I don't talk about mine to people. I used to. But he and my family just kind of inspired me. Don't waste your time talking to people. Because it's not like anyone's listening. You know when you talk to people and they're looking at their phone and you're just looking at it and you're like, what the fuck? This motherfucker, like, you're seriously, like, you're not even paying attention. So. Or people tell you, no, that's not how it works. What? How do you know? What are you talking about? Friends? No, I don't have any friends. I don't got nobody. You think it's better off that way? Probably. I would say that if it needed to be a different way, then you would have it a different way. There's that now we just started reading Chapter House. Dune. First time. Now I just finished chapter 2. Maybe about like an hour and a half ago or so, 2 hours ago. What time is it? It's 4. Yeah, so yeah, I just started reading it last night. I finished God Emperor yesterday. And I just needed to jump right in. You know, the first one I tried to read over the past like 15 years or so, maybe 12, yeah, I'd say about 15 years is a good estimation. Almost 20. I think I tried to read it 7 or 8 times. I got the audio version, I got digital version, I got physical version. But it wasn't until that last movie came out, Dune 2 came out, that I had a visual reference to the one I was reading, which made the experience a lot more satisfying, because up until that point, like, I really couldn't wrap my head around what the hell was going on visually, and that was the part that was fucking me up. Like, there was a lot of shit that was just boring, and plus I had read like the first several chapters multiple times. So, all right. And it's not like I could just pick up from where I left off, because I couldn't remember where I left off until I was reading it, you know? I feel different right now. No, Shem, like, I feel really fucking bad. Like, I feel like I'm in for some bad news. I feel like I'm about to get hit with some shit that either isn't my problem or is no longer my problem. You know what I mean? That's what I'm feeling like. And I feel like it's something that I heard today from, shit, what's her channel? I forget her name. I don't know if she ever says her name. I've been watching her for years, but I don't know if she's ever given her name before. She's an astrologer, a tarot reader. Quietest Revolution. She was talking about some shit today, and it made sense, because I saw all of the different faces of people that would do exactly what she said. And she's like, someone's gonna try to pull you down to their level. Now, mind you, whenever I watch like a reader, intuitive reader, astrologer, tarot reader, and they give messages like that, or any kind of message for that matter, I try to look at it from an internal perspective. If someone's coming in, there's a big bunch of love coming for you. Yeah, that's an internal thing. I don't believe in love. I don't think that it exists outside of my head. I mean, with you, that's a whole other story, but with interpersonal, like romantic, familial, no. I don't think human beings are bred for it anymore. Which brings you back to what I was about to say with Chapter House. I think it was Mother Supreme Mother, Mother Superior, Tazara, and Reverend Mother Dargada. I forget how to say her name, it's on my phone. One of the issues that the Mother Superior had with Nargaia, was that she was shown love as a child. That's a problem. Love is an emotion, is an ancient emotion that doesn't have any more, that doesn't have any practical use anymore, at least not for the Bene Gesserits. It's good for manipulating people, but that's about it. And I think that today, that's still true. Emotions, sharing emotions with people, I mean, what's it really worth? Emotional manipulation. I'm being reminded of Sophie. So I have this, I guess you say internet friend, internet acquaintance, person I know on the internet, girl that I met on the internet, and we used to talk more. Was it last week? About a week and a half ago. I don't normally use Instagram, but I did this particular day. Something was telling me, my intuition, you were speaking to me through my intuition and told me to check Instagram. I was expecting to see something from Miss Kim, but instead I saw a message from Sophie, but it wasn't even a message from Sophie. It was Instagram sending me a message from Sophie telling me that she tagged me in a comment on a post, which excited me because I hadn't talked to her in a while. And then I looked at the post that she commented on, that she tagged me in, and I didn't understand what was happening. I didn't understand why. All I could figure is, alright, but she tagged you in this for a reason. So I wanted you to see this. There's like a meme story. A story about a dark empath and a narcissist. The dark empath was portrayed as a hooded man, mysterious, brooding. And the narcissist was portrayed by a red woman with horns. He just wanted to heal her. He wanted to heal her wounds because he could feel what she was feeling. Because he's an empath. But as soon as he opened up to her, she exploded on him like a supernova. Once he triggered her core wound, how did it end? At first she saw him as the prey, but then she was scared of him. Some fucking empath bullshit. Some fucking creepy ass, fake ass, divine masculine empath bullshit. Demonizing the lady because she didn't fucking give it up. That's really what it was. She didn't give him what he wanted. She didn't give him what he wanted, which made her into a narcissist. But my friend Sophie, she tagged me and she goes, check out the second to last slide. So obviously I've read through the whole thing, but the second to last slide said that when he touched on her core wound, that she went off on him like a supernova. And that's a thing that only me and her would know. It goes back years, back to 2020. She was having a major glow up. She had this photo shoot. She was looking fine as hell. But I had commented on her picture, like, oh, supernova. Glowing up like a supernova. Something like that. And it was right around Christmas. It was right after Christmas, 2020. And she messaged me back. She's like, it's funny you say that because I just got an air freshener that said supernova on it. It's cool synchronicity, right? So when I saw that I was tagged and I read the thing with the supernova, I don't know, I got all in my head about it. Just thinking, well, why? Why now after all this time? I mean, the last time we talked, I was traveling for Hugo Boss and I had made a suggestion. I was staying in a hotel room and I was like, hey, I'm gonna be back in my hotel room in a couple days. If you wanna do a video chat, we'll have dinner together. But she responded, like, I don't think my partner will appreciate that. Whoa, alright. Okay. I mean, I didn't even respond. I just left it like that. I wasn't gonna carry on that conversation because, one, I'm not going to I'm not even going to entertain that. It's nothing against her. It was absolutely nothing against her. It was just, I don't like the idea of talking to someone. I don't like the idea of the idea of being friends with a woman that I'm attracted to. If we're not opening up more. If we're not trying to get to know each other better. And especially if someone's with someone else. 'Cause I had another friend who was married, but she was sleeping in a different room with her husband. She was seeing somebody else. I just didn't like that. I don't like that. I had another friend who was having a sexual relationship with some dude. And then she would text me during the day, hey, I'm high. Don't mind me if I start flirting with you. No. Cut that. They ain't doing that. Then there was a time where I had a lady friend that we used to talk constantly. We used to talk a lot. And I used to give all of my feelings to, which ended perfectly. Ended exactly the way that I needed it to, which was, I talked about how I wanted to evolve things, to grow things, to be more than friends. And she wasn't responding back to any of that, which is fine. To me, I saw it more as, hey, at least I'm getting it off my chest. I'm getting it out of my system. Because I thought about, what do you want to do? Do you want to regret years from now? I go, man, I wish I said something. I wonder what would have happened if I said something. Well, here, just find out. Say something. That's it. Hey, here's what happened. She didn't do anything. She didn't say anything. There was no acknowledgement. And the reason I found out shortly after is that because she was with somebody. That's not what she told me. Eventually she ended up telling me that she was talking to somebody, but she didn't mention the fact that she was living with somebody. And it was just like, wow. Eesh. You know the scene from The Wedding Singer? You know the scene from The Wedding Singer where Adam Sandler's supposed to get married and then he finds out that, or she doesn't show up. And then she comes back to the house later after the whole thing's been called off and they're talking in the front yard. And she tells him about the realization that she had I'm married to a wedding singer? And he's like, again, this is great information that you could have given me yesterday. Like you see that I'm like writing out these fucking novels. You have a track record of reading everything that I write. You couldn't just tell me that. You couldn't just tell me the truth. You couldn't even be honest. You couldn't even just like fudge it and be like, I'm not interested. That's all. That's all. But no, what ended up happening was, now I have it stuck in my head that you were just stringing me along the whole time. And I did my best to just be friends. I really did. Like 2 years, I kept it going. For 2 years, I did my best just to kind of be friends. I did my best to be clear that I wanted to be more than friends, but given our circumstances, I did my best. Like I said, I did my best. Whether or not she sees that as me doing my best or not, that's not my problem. That's not really my concern. It's just, it just got to a point where it's like, all right, like, who do I give more of a fuck about? Her or me? Because this is like eating away at me. I at this point, like I feel it getting toxic, and I don't like that feeling. So after 2 years, I had to cut that off. She pops up from time to time, which is good, and it sucks at the same time. But that's kind of what happened with Sophie. Is she got in my head, and I'm trying to like rationalize. Okay, well, why does she need to do that? And I was gonna just not do anything, but eventually it just got to a point where I can't. Like my body just took over. I wrote this big long message. Just kind of like catching up, talking about shit, talking about bullshit. AI. What else? Spiritual, soul, levels of the soul. I think got into Torah too. And I was pleasantly surprised at the fact that it was so well received, because we were kind of going back and forth for like an hour or so. And it was fun because I hadn't talked to her in a while, even though it was just texting. I do enjoy talking to her. But then she just kind of like left it off. All right, till next time. Next time? What does that even mean? Till next time tends to mean whenever I'm bored, whenever I have nothing else to do. If I need something to occupy myself, then I'll respond. That's what it means to me. And I don't know. I had a thought that popped in my head later in the day, and I messaged her one last time about her work in relation to my work, and if there was any way that we could inspire each other to make our works work better. But then that was like a week and a half ago. It's whatever, it is what it is. But then a couple days, I think like it was the day of the new moon. I saw, again, I don't normally go on Instagram, but I went on there and, oh fuck. Oh. I went on there and I saw that she had liked one of my posts. kind of got me a little like aggravated. I'm like, fuck, like, what is this thing? Obviously, you want me to recognize that you're recognizing me. Like, it feels like a fucking game. So what I ended up doing was, and I don't regret it, because you told me, God told me to. You gave me a great idea. Because we had kind of left our conversation off of AI. So I was having this riveting conversation with my Gemini the night before. And I said, you know what, let's just do an experiment. Because I'm not entirely unconvinced that the reason she tagged me was because she was feeling sentimental. And she was hoping that she would tag me in it, get into my head, and then I would message her or say something, right? That's literally what I was thinking. I don't doubt that, because people always have ulterior motives for what they do. So alright, fuck it. Let's do an experiment. Let's see if I can bait her. So I did. And I took a screenshot of my conversation with Gemini. Just enough, not the whole thing. Just like kind of a tease. And I posted it. Just to see. And I did it with the intention to see if I could get her, if I could inspire her to like the photo. In essence, manipulate her to get her to do what I wanted her to do. And you know what? It worked. It did. Like maybe, I think I just I set the bait in the afternoon, and then I went back and checked it that night. She left me a comment on it. And I patted myself on the back. And I heard my Lord, Hashem, said, told so. But I felt better after that, because it was like, you know what it felt like? It felt like, so after we had messaged back and forth for a little bit, and she kind of cut everything off, it's like, all right, until next time. The way I saw it was, all right, she was bored as fuck. And mind you, I initiated. But I initiated because she made it blatantly obvious that she wanted my attention. She was feeling sentimental because of the supernova thing. Okay. So the way I saw it was, and I always write her these big novels, very thought-provoking, intellectual novels. I do my best not to make it sexual or anything like that. But the way I was seeing it was, yeah, she got my attention because she just wanted to get her brain fucked real quick. And after she got off on it, after she got her intellectual burst, her intellectual little explosion. All right, till next time. What? Did I just get used? I just got used. I just got used. And so that, with the picture, was my way of going, hey, fuck you too. Get mine. Get mine right back. But I thank the Lord, because if not, because it was a conversation I was having with Gemini about Aristotelian physics with relation to, was it that one? It might have been the other one. We might have been talking about integrating Aristotelian physics with, synthesizing Aristotelian physics with Python programming and developing a new, like, kind of logic system, into Aristotelian logic with modern Python logic. But see, now that's petty. Was it petty? I don't know. God tells me it's not petty. You're just doing what she did. You literally did the same thing that she did. She knew you were going to see it. You knew that she was going to see it. She knew you were going to do something. You knew she was going to do something. There you go. Congratulations. You're married. Yeah, you see, the thing is, my problem with that is, like, because I don't have any human interaction. I don't have any female interaction either. But it's like, what are you gonna do? It's not like I have time for anything like that. I don't feel like I have time. I mean, if I look at it as if I'd had time, then I'd be doing it. Just keep doing what I'm doing. Eventually, we ever come to that point. Come to that point, it's not. And fucking depressing as fuck. But this goes back to 9 days, 3 weeks. Learning how to be grateful and happy and enthusiastic about everything that makes you feel bad. Thank you, Hashem. I love it. Alright, my lord. I'm wrapping this up. Love you too.